What I want to tell everyone is that the number of deaths and infections in Beijing is absolutely multiple times greater than the CCP's reported figures. At the time, a female fellow fighter from a military hospital sent me a message. She told me, "I'm telling you, it's 10 times their reported number, and everything is being handled with top secrecy." Their approach was isolation even if it meant wrongful treatment. If they suspected you might have a cold, even if you only had a cold, they'd isolate you immediately. Beijing was the strictest. She said she had spoken with colleagues in Wuhan and Hubei. Because this military hospital said it was the military in Hubei that first took action. But it was Beijing that handled it with the harshest measures, as if it were biochemical warfare. She said their military hospitals immediately received orders to prepare as if for chemical warfare, using chemical defense protocols. We started in January, actually from the end of December. We began talking about it, started whistleblowing, made our warnings public. She said the military's orders at the time scared them to death. Everything was handled like war preparations, chemical defense measures. And immediately Beijing activated a so-called reserve force plan. Then hospitals were surrounded by snipers, various chemical defense equipment, and vehicles all showed up. They thought it was just a precaution to protect leadership and political interests. It wasn't until the next day that they realized people in Beijing had died. Many had died, and they weren't allowed to go home, had to remain on duty. But she revealed the most crucial information. The virus from the Wuhan lab was artificially engineered. She clearly said this virus was not naturally occurring. It was man-made, equivalent to a biochemical weapon. By early January, when our whistleblowers movement first started speaking out, the CCP had already made its internal decision. So those so-called directives from Xi Jinping's meetings on January 6th and 7th were all nonsense. Even before those directives, it had already been defined as a biochemical weapon and man-made.